Hello, welcome to RC Video Reviews. Today we've got the maiden flight of the FMS Ranger. Now before I get started, I need to let you know this video is sponsored by FMS, and I have a special request from FMS as well. They have a survey and they're asking me if I could put a survey link in the description of the video so that you go out and fill out the survey related to airplanes. So if you don't mind, hit the survey button, that'd be great. And if you do the survey, they're drawing prizes on a regular basis for up to 150 bucks. So you can be eligible for a prize if you participate in a survey. All right, with that said, let's get into the Ranger. This is a ready-to-fly kit. It came with the FlySky FS I4X radio. It's a non-computerized, very basic radio, but it does the job. It bound up instantly when I connected it, and it's ready to fly. I didn't have to do any work, and that's actually very nice for a beginner. There aren't a whole lot of knobs and switches on here, and they even had the reversing set up and the mode switch set up for the gyro inside. So they've done a really good job getting the radio ready for a beginner. And as far as the assembly goes, honestly, it's just a few screws and a couple of aileron wires. The only thing I had any trouble with at all on the assembly was twisting these wing screws. I felt the first time that I did it, I was gonna break something. You have to follow the little arrow, but man, I had to really wrench it to get it to move. After the screw went in for the first time, after that it was easy, no problem. But that first time, man, it was something weird about it. Anyway, it's all done and working. The assembly, very simple on this plane. The configuration worked out of the box. So here's a look at the wind. This does have an FMS gyro. We're gonna test it out with wind stabilization during the maiden. And then after I'm done with the maiden, Freddie, who is our novice plank pilot, he's a heli guy. He can fly helis really well, but he's a novice airplane guy. We're gonna put him on the buddy box and get him flying this Ranger. Stick around, we got a lot of good flying coming up. I've already done a control system check on the bench and all the control systems check out correctly, but I did want to give you a look at the gyro. Again, no configuration on the gyro, but as I pitch down, you can see the elevator pulling up, so up elevator there. And then as I roll the airplane to the port side, the right aileron comes up, which is correct. And as I roll to the starboard side, the port aileron comes up, which is correct. So the gyro works correctly on the plane. I'm gonna turn the gyro off for takeoff, and then after I trim everything out, make sure the plane's flying well, then we'll try the gyro out. We'll do wind rejection, stabilize mode, make sure all that works before we hand it over to Freddie. One other thing I have to mention, they give you a little charger that comes with the kit, and that charger has no buttons, it just has LEDs. It's a balanced lead connection for the battery. I plugged the battery in, left it for about an hour, and there was no charge on the charger. So I'm not sure what the deal is. I will check with my FMS contact to see if I'm missing something, but I did have an issue with the charger. It seems the battery, when I plugged it into the balance lead, it just didn't charge. All right, let's fly it.
Let's do it.
All right, we're getting ready to maiden. One last comment about the controls. There are no dual rates on this setup. I tried the other switch and it doesn't seem to have an impact, so no dual rates on this radio. It might be something that could be programmed in. I haven't checked the book, honestly, so just heads up, there are no dual rates to start. I've got a crosswind coming directly across the runway, so I'm gonna take off. Heading left to right, but I'm heading across the runway. So here we go. Off the ground, no problem at all. And the trim actually looks pretty good. Just gonna let it fly straight and level. Okay, a little aileron trim to the left. Just a little bit, a couple clicks. Yeah, no dual rates on this, so I would say that the controls are a little bit sensitive, a little bit more sensitive than I would like around center. So again, I did not check the book.
There's no expo with that radio?
Not that I can see. It's not obvious looking at the front of the radio. But you know, this is just everything that I expected from a trainer. Very stable, very visible. I think I need a little up elevator, just a touch, 2 clicks of up. That might be 1 too many clicks of up. And we do have wind too, so just keep that in mind. The plane's getting knocked around a little bit for the wind. It's tough to trim for the wind. I'm not concerned about the airframe. Okay, it seems to be flying straight and level. I don't have any problems there. Let's just do a few maneuvers to see how things go. The first thing I'm gonna do is try a loop. So I'm gonna head into the wind, which is now coming from my left. Oh yeah, plenty of power for a loop. And you know, that was one of my concerns about any trainer. We talked about this on the Pilot Jam last night, is you want the motor to have enough power. It doesn't need to be a powerhouse rocket on a trainer, but I like the motor to have enough to be able to do things that the student can get themselves out of trouble and actually fly some maneuvers without any real difficulty. All right, I'm gonna do a little roll. Need a little elevator to keep it level, but it's no problem. It does it just fine. It behaves exactly like I'd expect a high wing trainer to behave. All right, let's do a yaw test. And what I like to do there, you guys know, is climb straight up, plenty of power there. Good, and we'll kill the power and look for it to drop, and it's straight down, so perfect. All right, the last thing I'm gonna do is a stall. So I'm gonna bring it around. We will come into the wind. So the wind is, again, coming from across the field. So I'm just gonna do a stall right here. Power's off, and straight down, little drop. Easy to recover. Beautiful, man. This is exactly what you want out of a trainer. Very stable little plane, not too fast, easy to see. I like it. It's a good plane. Good trainer.
Basically ready to fly out the box.
Ready to fly, man. I very little work on this, just a little bit of trim. The radio is done, very little work. All right, with that done, let's check the stabilizer. I'm gonna turn the gyro wind rejection mode or uncommanded movement mode on. That's on now. We'll just fly around and see how the gyro does, handling the wind for me. Looks pretty good. Yeah, so the wings are staying stable now, which is awesome. Very good. All right, the next thing I want to do is try the stabilizer. So this is attitude, basically attitude mode or bank limit mode. And it is now in that mode. I'm going to try and make a turn to the right. Yeah, it's exactly what you'd expect. It's about, I'd say, what, 30, 40, 35 degrees maybe. So, and it is flying straight and level, which is beautiful. Very nice. That's a nice thing to have for a beginner. They can pop it into that stabilized mode and get the plane to fly straight and level for them with just a little bit of power. All right, here's a look at the radio. It's hands-off flying. I've got the power at about 50% and the plane's flying straight and level, no problems at all. So that's exactly what we want out of our trainer. All right, I've done everything I need to do for a maiden. Now I want to get it on the ground. I have a straight, legitimate straight crosswind. So I'm going to do kind of an odd approach. I'm going to come from my side of the flight line into the wind. All right, here we go, into the wind, over the runway, little flare. There we go.
Pretty.
Now we'll just slow it down, and once it gets slow enough, we can make the turn. You just got to make the turns really slow. You cannot, there we go, that's the correct way to do it. You can't make the turn at speed. You got to slow down, let the airplane come to a very slow speed, and then once you've done that, you can make your turn. All right, that wraps up the maiden video. All I can say about the plane is if you're looking for a budget trainer option, I like the Ranger quite a bit. Flies well in the sky, it's got plenty of power, plenty of authority on the controls, able to do some maneuvers. You can get a ready to fly version with the radio that's already set up to work if you're a complete novice, and the gyro was effective in these wind conditions. So I'm really happy with the way the plane performed. Next up, we're gonna get Freddie on a buddy box. So I'm gonna go rebind with my radio. We'll get Freddie on the buddy box. We'll get another battery in this thing. We'll let Freddie fly it for a little while.
There goes nothing.
Here goes nothing. We're getting ready to let Freddie fly the FMS Ranger, but before we go, he had a question about the gyro. So I want to talk about the gyro modes really quickly. There are 3 modes on a Reflex V2 gyro. Mode number 1 is off. That means the gyro does nothing to help you. It's a straight pass-through from the transmitter to the model. Mode number 2 is what I call uncommanded movement or wind rejection. The idea behind the second mode is that when there's a perturbance on the craft, the gyro will react to that perturbance, whatever it is. Whatever caused the disturbance, the gyro reacts to that and tries to counteract it, but then the control surfaces go back to wherever the sticks commanded them. The third mode is called stabilized mode, and in stabilized mode, the gyro tries to fly the plane straight and level. And it also limits your bank angle to about, it looked to me about 30 degrees, give or take. So that's the third mode, stabilized mode. Freddie wants to try wind rejection. Normally for a student, I wouldn't suggest that. I'd say leave the stabilizer off, but we've already made in the plane. We know the uncommanded movement or wind rejection mode works fine. So if he wants to try it, we can go ahead and do it. No problem, because I already know it works.
Oh, I'm going to try all 3 of them out today.
Definitely, let's try them all out. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna take off and get it up in the air and get it flying straight and level for Fred, and then I'm gonna hand it over to him. So Fred will film the takeoff, and I'll have to come back later because it's just the 2 of us. I'll have to come back later and we'll film Fred flying the plane. Okay, master control, and we're gonna take off straight across the field because we've got a straight crosswind. Here we go. Beautiful. All right, Fred, I'm just gonna turn her around and get her facing downwind, and you can come on over and get ready to take control.
I got to take my throttle cut off, right?
Yeah, take your throttle cut off.
All right, that's all.
Freddie is flying the Ranger. I watched him for a little while with my hand on the trigger, getting ready to take it back, but he's got control of the plane, so I'm just gonna watch him fly. Fred, what do you think?
I'm surprised because I don't have it on any state gyro, anything, and it feels solid, man.
You got it on straight manual mode.
I'm just doing figure eights right now, just getting the feel of it, but yeah, it's, well, are my rates on high or low right now?
Let me check, hold on.
Because it don't feel like very...
You're on high rates.
High rates, really? Yeah. Oh, this feels great. I don't think I would even want low rates.
Well, maybe when you're landing, or if you're trying to do things a little more precise, you might want to.
Man, this thing feels like I've been flying planes this whole time.
Why don't you try the uncommanded movement on the stabilizer?
Right. Oh, no, my bad. We are on that one.
So you had it on?
Yeah, I had it on there the whole time. Okay. I thought I didn't.
All right.
Here, let's try shutting it off.
Stabilizer off.
There we go. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, see, it doesn't feel any different, right? That's
a little bit more, I don't know, maybe.
No, it shouldn't feel any different.
It feels a little shakier, that's it.
Yeah, because when the wind blows and there's a perturbance on the craft in that mode that you were just in.
Now we're on full stabilizer mode.
The gyro corrects it. So now he's got the stabilizer on.
It seems like it's wanting to lift a little bit.
Yeah, it might.
I don't like this.
Wind rejection mode.
I put it on wind rejection. This is where I like it. This feels best right here.
There you go. That's Freddie flying a, you guys saw it on RC video reviews first, man. That's Freddie flying a plank.
You haven't, all thing you did was take it off pretty much, huh?
That's it.
I can't believe how, I mean, it's very docile. It feels comfortable. I'm very comfortable with this right now.
Yeah.
Unlike the Jet, which I think maybe just the speed was a little too fast. And it was harder to see. This, I have no problem with this yellow. It feels, I mean, the visibility is wonderful on a clear day like today anyway.
Yeah, it pops, doesn't it? And what's cool is, look, there's the wind, and he's a novice pilot flying in that kind of wind. No problem at all. He's a novice fixed wing pilot, I should say. We got to give him credit for his helicopter skills. It's not like he doesn't know how to operate a radio. He knows all the axes of control, but he's a novice fixed wing pilot.
Oh, I got the simple basic flight controls down. We'll learn some tricks later.
Yeah. Why don't you start practicing some lining up on the runway, Fred, because...
Yeah, that's more I need to really get on.
You got to work on that. So I'm going to go off camera for this part, and if we get Freddie landing, I'll put it back on camera, but for now I'm going to go off camera to help out with the alignment stuff. This is Freddie's, I think it's about his 4th flight on the Ranger, and he's just killing it, man. He took to it like a duck to water. No problems at all. Doing really well with the plane. In fact, he's already done a couple of touch and goes too. I didn't catch those on film because when we're doing approaches, I want to be on the sticks and ready to help him. But he's already done a couple of touch and goes, and he's done great. Well, I think he's really going to enjoy flying this Ranger around. It's a nice little flyer. Plenty of motor. That's one of the things I was concerned about. I always get a little concerned about that on trainers, is does it have enough motor? And this plane's got plenty of motor for a trainer, high wing trainer. It's just perfect. And we're getting about 6 minutes of flight time. We came down at 6 minutes, just flying basic stuff like you see here. And after about 6 minutes, we were at 3.8 on the batteries. So 1300 3-cell, you get about 6 minutes of flying. All right, guys, we've had a really nice day at Southern Eagle Squadron flying the Ranger from FMS. And Freddie's gotten a couple lessons now, and he's been flying the plane pretty much on his own. He's done his first full maiden start to stop, and he's just gonna take the FMS Ranger up for a flight and tell you what his experience is with the plane. So Fred, take her away, buddy, whenever you're ready.
All right, well, it's kind of windy today, and since I knew I've been using the stabilizer gyro to take off, so I'm gonna take off with it on, and I'm gonna flip it into wind mode, and if the wind dies down, I'll take it off again. Here goes nothing.
Yeah, wind's coming straight across the runway, so he takes off straight across. There he goes.
All right, I flipped it on wind rejection.
My hands are here and here. I did not help him. That's all Fred. So what we've been working on are basics, you know, just flying the pattern, doing some altitude management. We've talked a little bit about aerodynamics and you know, what happens when you're in a dirty configuration with the wings banked over quite a bit. So just the basics, you know, getting him up to speed on flying fixed wing, and he's been doing great with the plane. In-air handling, no problem at all. And look at that visibility. What do you think about the visibility, Fred?
Yeah, I haven't had a problem with this. That little white jet we had last time, that gave me some problems. But this here, yeah, no problems at all. Very good visibility. I really like this wind rejection thing too.
Yeah.
Here, we'll flip it off. No, there we go. There's no gyro, nothing there.
No
I had my
gyro.
last flight without a gyro, but it was a little bit less windy.
How much fixed wing flying have you done in the past 24 months, Fred?
Oh, let's see. How many times have I flown with you that we did that little foamy plane?
The little jet?
The little jet. That was
Profile.
Yeah, that was, how many times did I fly each one? I think that was the only two I flew.
So in the
Over
past
ti-
24 months, you can count them on one or two hands, right?
Oh, definitely. Probably less than 5 flights in the last 2 years, yeah. This thing here, I don't know. Well, see, I don't have gyro, nothing. I'm flying it, and I'm very comfortable with this plane. I immediately took right to it. There's like no surprises with it. It's pretty forgiving, I guess.
Why don't you go ahead and start working on setting up for a landing, Fred? That way we can show everyone how you're doing on that part and show people how easy it is to actually land this plane. And keep in mind, Fred's not an expert, but he's been landing it pretty well. I would say some of his landings were better than my first landing with this plane.
All
So
right.
you got wind coming from the left, Fred. It's coming from your left.
Am I in the right direction or no?
No, you're going to wind up with a little bit of tailwind coming that way. If you want to fly around for a little while and see if it shifts.
Yeah, because I haven't yet to land from the right.
Yeah, that hadn't worked out well for you, but that's where the wind's telling you to do it. I mean, it's definitely coming. You want to try an approach and see what happens?
I'm trying right now.
All right, he's trying. He's still learning, so on a right-hand pattern, that's been a little bit of a struggle, but the wind's coming from the left, so you tried a right-hand pattern, and look at
We're
that.
down.
Yahtzee, man. Nice, Fred. That was pretty tight.
How many minutes are we at? We're only about halfway.
He's bit, man. He went back up again. Look at that.
There we go.
Right down the runway.
I must admit,
No help.
I did use the wind rejection when landing that time.
You did use it?
Yeah, I turned the wind rejection on when I landed,
Okay.
but that was it. I didn't want no surprises with the winds. Here, let's try it again.
Gonna try another touch and go, I guess, huh? Well, actually, that was more of a full stop landing is what he did.
We're bailing out of that
Yeah,
one.
if you don't like it, bail out, man. That's the trick. Just bail out. Don't force a bad situation. All right, he's set up on downwind now. He's going to turn base and limit his bank so he doesn't get too dirty. Kick in a little bit of rudder. Level those wings.
We lost that one.
He bailed out again, and that's okay.
It's a little bit harder without the wind rejection, I think.
Yeah,
I'm not using that right now.
yeah, the gyro definitely helps alleviate some of your workload, no doubt. That's what I like about him on windy days. All right, here we go. Another approach.
Whoa,
RF signal critical.
Just fly the plane, fly the plane.
I got it under
You
control.
got it?
We almost stalled, I guess, huh? I don't know. You know what?
Wind rejection mode.
Let me put the wind rejection on and do it.
Yeah. Don't be too proud, man. Let the gyro help you out a little.
Yeah, I haven't been successful without the gyro, but
Don't forget to use your right rudder and just bring that tail around. Now level those wings, get them flat, off power, and just let it coast down. There you go. There you go. You got it. Little power, just a little kiss. Perfect. Look at that.
Look at that. I'm a fixed wing pilot, guys.
You're an expert, man.
There you go. That's 2 successful full flights up and down.
Two full start, full stop flights back to back, no problems, planes in one piece.
This planker stuff is nothing. No, man, you don't have to attribute a lot of this to, you know, I got you here teaching me and taking over. If it weren't for you, I probably wouldn't be out here this late in the afternoon. I've been home with pieces like you got in the back of your car right now. Yeah. Whoa, I got it on film.
All right, so for the radio setup, we have the FMS included FlySky IA6 receiver in the plane. I've got that bound to my Radiomaster TX16S MPM module using the FlySky AFH DS2A protocol. And then Freddie is connected to my WTO1 trainer dongle, which is plugged into the top of the radio. And he is bound to the dongle using D16. So far the wireless trainer setup has been flawless today. I think
Perfect.
It's been exactly what we needed. And the FlySky IA6 receiver, I've been watching the RQLY all day long. I saw it get down to 99, 98%, not much lower than that. I will put a log file in the video so you can see my log file results from the over-the-air protocol. But so far, the FlySky receiver in that FMS Ranger has been what I would consider to be flawless. Excellent. I hope you guys liked the content. If you did, make sure you smash that thumbs up, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you know when new material hits the channel. YouTube should recommend another video for you just about now. That's all I've got for today. Take it easy.
Later, folks.
And get out there and fly something.